Welcome to the Beyond Physio Podcast, where we help you move, excel, and inspire others on your journey to your next level with knowledge and advice from experts and testimonials from our like-minded community.
All right, welcome to the Beyond Physio Podcast. I'm here with
Ryeong Choi. Yep.
Ryeong Choi. Good to have you here. We're very excited to talk. Ryeong, could you just introduce yourself, talk about, yourself?
Sure. So my name is Ryeong Choi, and I help people find their new gear and help them achieve goals that they once thought were out of reach. A little bit of my background. So I'm South Korean. I moved to the U.S. when I was 8 and I moved to North Carolina, so down south. Went through all the school system there. So grade school, middle school, elementary school. Went to High Point University, played 4 years of college. So I have a soccer background, so 4 years of college soccer, and was fortunate enough to play 2 years professional. And after my playing career, it was a smooth transition to become a coach.
Gotcha. So how did it go in terms? You played soccer at High Point, and then did you get recruited by what was that process like in terms of playing professional ball?
Sure. So this is something that I don't recommend for future college athletes. But when I was in high school, my senior year, I always thought I will end up somewhere. I will end up playing Division I soccer. And it's not the approach, regardless of how good you are, how confident you are. You always want to be proactive, reaching out to coaches and try to be more hands-on. So I just waited for calls to come in, for emails to come into my inbox. Hey, we are interested in you. But that didn't happen. I had to sell myself, put my name out there, reach out to coaches. And May of my senior year, which is very late, a month before I graduated, High Point University reached out to me because I reached out to them. Hey, we have a spot, we have a roster spot. I want to, the coach said I want to have you come in and join the team. So very late in the process, I got in and I was a walk-on, so I kind of had to show myself, hey, this is Ryeong Choi, this is what I'm capable of doing, and that's how my journey as a college athlete started.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when it comes to high schoolers that kind of see themselves as maybe becoming a professional athlete, can you just shed some light as to what the actual life of a professional athlete looks like?
Sure. So it's not this lustrous career that people think it is. Yes, it's a very sexy, appealing title. Hey, when I played, I would introduce my career as, hey, I'm a professional athlete. Now I say I used to play professional sports, which is very appealing to a lot of people. But I don't think people understand how it's a business at the end of the day. Unless you sign a multi-year contract at a top tier, for instance, in the U.S. you have MLS. Overseas you have your Big Five, the just to name a few, Bundesliga, English Premier League, La Liga, and things like that. So unless you've sign a multi-year contract, you're pretty much living your life on the edge. If you don't perform, then the next day, coach will hand you a flight ticket back home and say, hey, good luck to you. Here's your ticket, next flight, 8 a.m. So
brutal.
It's brutal business. So that's what I kind of want to shed lights to. In fact, a quick little story. My teammate, a really good teammate of mine, it was 2019, August 13th, actually my birthday. He got called into coach's office, and I drove him there because we just wanted to carpool together. And I was just waiting for him to finish his meeting, and he was in the coach's meeting room. After he's done, he came out, we made eye contact, and he just gave me a big smile. And I asked him, is everything good? Is all good? Because when you go into coach's office, all of a sudden it's either, okay, it's good or it's not looking good. And he looked at me in the eyes, just gave me a big smile and said, yeah, all good, yeah, nothing major. And again, it's my birthday, so that night we just had a dinner together. And then the following day, he came up to me and was like, hey, bro, I'm getting released. I'm going back home.
Oh, man.
He didn't want to tell me that because he didn't want to ruin my birthday. So, yeah, it's brutal. Like you said, it's a brutal business. You're good enough to add something to the team, or see you later.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Yeah. I've had the privilege of treating a variety of professional athletes, different sports, basketball, football, figure skating, and for the vast majority of athletes, it's a grind, right? You have to, stay in front of it. You have to constantly be working. You're constantly working on your body. It's just like a day in and day out grind. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So you made the transition to coaching, and you actually started coaching at AlphaFit as well. And I started going to AlphaFit. That's actually how we met each other. I saw this good-looking Korean guy as the coach. I was like, oh, he's Korean. I could tell. Yeah. One, his name is Young, with an R.
Yeah, exactly.
But tell us a little bit about AlphaFit. Like, what is AlphaFit?
So it's very high-intensity circuit-style training. There's different specialty classes, but just regular AlphaFit class is the format is 6 stations, 6 minutes per station. So you just go around the room 1 lap, and you target cardio and strength all at the same class in 1 class. Yeah, so that's like a general synopsis what you can expect when you come into the door at AlphaFit Club.
It's like general fitness.
Exactly. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyone that comes through the door is going to get a little bit of everything.
Everything. Yeah, everything.
Right? It's like, station 1 is cardio, depending on when you start.
Yep.
Station 2 is strength, and then kind of flip-flops back and forth.
Yeah. But I'm sure. Sorry, go ahead.
What's your least favorite station?
So that's what I was going to mention. We all have some like a focus day. For instance, we have our capacity week, just focus on just building that aerobic engine, and then we have our tenacity, and we have our intensity, and we get to test and kind of show off of what we worked on the previous 3 weeks. So the stations varies week by week. Focus changes, lower body focus days, upper body focus, things like that at certain stations. But if I had to pick, although I like to say myself have a good aerobic background. Those are salt bikes, man. those are salt bikes.
I have not met a single person that likes this salt bike.
Yeah.
The salt bike is brutal.
I know, same. Yeah, gotta fight demons.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the running. Like, naturally, I'm not built like a runner. I've never had that cardio engine to be able to, run hard, run fast. I was like a sprinter in high school. Yeah. I was a wrestler in high school, so it's like really anaerobic activities.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But I also did cross country to get training for wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was always like the worst kid on the team. I was always the whole varsity team has been in for 10 minutes, and I'm trudging in the back. But yeah, I mean, you also specialize in endurance sports.
Correct.
So you do marathons, half marathons. Yeah. You just went to, what was the last marathon you did?
Portland Marathon in Oregon.
In Oregon, gotcha.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your running experience,
sure,
your coaching when it comes to half marathons and marathons.
Yeah, so I do want to preface by saying it's very difficult to be very specific, because if I were to do that, it would be kind of doing you disservice, because I'm sure Dave, we're all built differently, even though the person next to you look identical, similar stature, similar background history. The way you respond to a stimulus is different than that person that looks identical or acts identical. So it needs to be somewhat generic when I'm explaining right now. So pretty much the way I got into running was I had to cut my soccer career short due to a knee injury, and I had to make a decision. I was in Michigan at the time with my knee issue, and either do my rehab in New Jersey, where my sister was at the time, or go all the way back down to North Carolina and go through the rehab with my parents, because I still needed that family support. So I had to pick either Jersey or North Carolina. I decided to go with my sister because I didn't want to show my parents that I was limping at the time, because they'll be heartbroken. And then I went through the rehab, started jogging a little bit, and kind of going back to AlphaFit Club. When I joined as a coach at AlphaFit, they had everything you needed to get me back on track. So then I fell back in love with how I trained for soccer, a lot of running, a lot of intervals and things like that, which got me back into races, starting with 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and incorporate a little bit of strength. So that's where the HYROX came into play. I've done my first HYROX back last February in Vegas. I did my first doubles there, and you mentioned talking about my running history. So my first half marathon, it was actually first race after my injury, was back in April in Jersey City. I put in a good, like, solid training block. I wanted to kind of experience with building my own program, and that went very successful. I was very happy with the time that I got, and that gave me that confidence booster to run a full marathon. So that's where my kind of running journey kind of began, starting this past year in Jersey City, and then working my way up to full marathon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I've never done a marathon. I've done a half marathon. And how do you feel about some people saying, like, they could never do a marathon? And do you believe that some people are not built for it, some people are built for it? Where do you think that kind of, like, innate genetic ability comes into play?
Genetics definitely comes in play. You see, I was never the fastest, never the strongest on the field, but I was able to make things work through different attributes. And I think that goes the same for running, or opposite of running, for instance, like powerlifting or like bodybuilding. It's different sports in the fitness realm, but some people are just dealt with better cards when it comes to endurance or versus the strength. It's almost like me comparing to Usain Bolt. I'm just not genetically gifted to run like he is. I can train just like him. I can even put more effort into running, like 9.58 or something like that. Incredible. But I'll never be able to run that. So, but then again, can I not complete 100 meters? Absolutely not. And that goes the other way around too. People can actually, of course, complete marathons, but if they were to just finish it, I'm a firm believer, if you have two legs, you can go. And there's incredible stories out there, even with, like, wheelchair, without, or just, prosthetics. They do it. So there are some stories, incredible stories out there that are inspiring. I think everyone can do it.
Yeah, I mean, running has become super popular. It's hard to get a registration for, like, a half marathon or a marathon now, and it's becoming so much more popular in terms of, like, just people generally. It used to be, like, a very niche thing, but now it's become a very generalized sport that a lot of people can do. And I think part of that is, like, the barrier to entry is very low.
Yeah.
Like, you want to pick up basketball, like, you got to get a basketball, you got to get shoes, you got to find a court, you got to find, like, 8 other people to play with.
Exactly.
Play with you. It's or 9 other people to play with you.
Yeah. Sign up for, like, leagues.
Yeah,
kind of practice,
exactly.
work on.
Whereas running, like, if you got a pair of shoes, and it's debatable whether you even need shoes, right? So you can just go outside and run. For me, I find that running is very, like, therapeutic. I have 3 kids, so it's the only time I really get to, like, be outside by myself or, like, intentionally do something just for me. I think that's part of it. And I think that's probably for a lot of people, it's, like, the only time in their day where they're really just focused on themselves and, like, what they're doing in that moment. And I think in terms of running, when my patients tell me, oh, I could never run. Like, I could never run a marathon, or I could never run a half marathon. It's part of it's, like, if you don't want to, like, don't. Like, it's okay. You don't have to. No one's forcing you to run a marathon. Yeah. But if you want to run a marathon and you just think that you can't, and that's why you're not doing it, then I think that's a problem. Right. You need to
have the battle.
Exactly. You have to understand, like, that it's possible. You just need maybe some guidance to how to do it, and, like, that's where coaching comes into play. That's where, like, a run gait analysis like comes into play. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people that legitimately just don't know how to run and have been running incorrectly for a long time, and that is what leads to some of these injuries. Like, they're like, every time I run, my knee hurts. It's like, we could fix that. If every time you threw a ball, your shoulder hurt, like, there's something wrong. Yeah, you should fix it. It's not just like, oh, like, I just can't throw a ball ever again. Yeah. Like, you should be able to run. Like, every human should be able to run.
Right. So that's tricky, because when I program someone that wants to run a half marathon or a marathon that has minimal experience, I tend to I tend to be very cautious on the overload aspect of it. Of course, yes, people here in the fitness industry, yes, progressive overload, go up week by week, you want to lift heavier, you want to run farther. I totally understand that, and I'm sure running coaches out there understand this, or know of this. You don't want to increase max of 10% of weekly mileage. So for instance, if I am running 30 miles this week, next week the max should be 30 to 33 tops, regardless of how good I felt doing that 30 miles. You don't want to jump the gun and go from 30. Oh, that felt amazing, no issues, my knee's feeling good, like my bad knee feels good. Then I'm doing 40. Like, I want to expedite the process. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I wish it did. Fortunately, you have to take baby steps, and that's where sometimes when I prescribe distance or pace to a client of mine, they want to go a little bit faster than their prescribed pace. And that's one of my pet peeves. I'm just like, please, we'll get there. Just stick with it, please. Yeah. So that's one issue that I like to hone in on to my personal clients.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have the same problem with myself. Like when I'm programming my own running, or I have one of our staff here is a run coach as well. So when you program something for me, I always have to hold myself back from being like, picking up the pace or just running a little bit further than what's programmed, or changing some variable more than I should. Yeah. And it's like a constant battle psychologically to like understand the science behind it, and really kind of like battling internally with like what you want to do psychologically.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough, man. Like you said, Dave, sometimes the hardest part is just slowing things down. Like, so just slow the pace down, so drop a notch a little bit, pepper it down. It's difficult. Yeah. But it's all going to work at the end. If you have a good running coach that knows what they are doing, it'll play out. Yeah. So just trust in the process, believe in it, and it's going to be okay.
What do you think about zone 2 training?
Oh my goodness. It's a thing, but it's a term that I feel like a lot of people just tossed around. Felt good, hashtag zone 2 or something like that. Just is a term that's been tossed around very often. Zone 2 is not a pace, by the way. Zone 2 is it's not a pace. It's totally different. I think that's one of the misconceptions. They go 750 pace. Okay, that's my zone 2. No, it doesn't work like that. Depending on where you are physically, that might change. Yeah, to low
on a day in and day out basis.
Exactly. What I think of it, extremely important. If you use it correctly, it's the most important zones you to stay at for half marathons, for full marathons.
Yeah. So just to clarify to anyone that's listening, zone 2 training is essentially staying within a zone of heart rate. So if you take your heart rate max, which is like a rough estimate is essentially 220 minus your age. So if you're a 40-year-old person and your 220 minus your age is 180 beats per minute. If you take 65% of that, that's essentially where your zone 2 heart rate is. It can fluctuate. So my heart rate max, according to my watch, and if you want to do zone 2 training, I really recommend that you wear a heart rate monitor with your watch to get an accurate reading. But you're essentially staying within the zone of that heart rate and not going over it. So there's like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, and like zone 5A, and then zone 5B and zone 5C. Yeah. So zone 2 training is essentially the concept of staying in a lower what they call sub-threshold pace, and that is demarcated by your heart rate. So you're like constantly kind of like watching yourself. Like I did a 7-mile run yesterday, and I was trying to say sub-threshold, staying in zone 2, zone 3. Man, it was hard. Yeah. It was really hard. I felt like I needed to walk to get my heart rate down.
Hard to say. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in terms of a day in and day out basis, like some days, if you're well rested, you're hydrated, your training has been going well the past few days, that might change. Like your pace might be like higher that day, and you could still stay in zone 2. Yeah. But say you went out drinking the night before, and you didn't sleep well,
Yeah.
and you're fighting with your wife about something.
The nowadays.
weather, and then
Yeah.
your heart rate might be higher.
Yeah.
So it all kind of depends. But
Yeah.
foundationally, Zone 2 training is trying to build up the base
Mhm.
and like your aerobic battery. Is that
Capacity, yeah.
capacity? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is that the
Yeah, yeah.
a good
Mhm.
metaphor?
Yes, yes. If you are new to running and unsure what pace to go, and like Dr. Dave just mentioned, it's if you don't have a watch, although it's not the most accurate reading just basing off the watch, yes, I do recommend a heart rate strap. But if you're unsure, then I'm sure you also hear like a conversational pace. Just have a chat with yourself. If you're able to say that with, like fluid, then you're probably at a good pace.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you have to
talking
stop,
pace.
exactly. If you have to stop every 2-3 words, then you might be going a little bit too fast.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
way to
yeah, yeah.
kind of measure and gauge
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I mean, in terms of half marathons, you do coaching yourself, correct?
Yes.
You also have a run club
Yes. It's called Forward Run Club. Every Saturdays. Yeah.
every Saturdays.
Mhm.
Where do you guys meet?
Ridgewood Duck Pond. Yeah,
Ridgewood
yeah.
Duck Pond.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So a nice little 3.1, a little over 3.2 mile down and back. So it's 1.6 down, 1.6 back.
Nice, excellent.
Yeah.
All right,
Very
cool.
chill.
And on top of the half marathons and the marathons, you also do HYROX.
Correct.
And I know that you have done very well at HYROX.
Thank you.
And what was your placement?
So this is age group. I wish I won it overall, but I won. So HYROX, like I mentioned earlier, my first one was back February last year, and I did doubles with a friend of mine. And a few months after that, I did my first solo in New York City, and I put together another like solid training block, and that turned out well because I was also the doubles. I thought I felt great doing it. So again, another confidence booster. So I decided to try the whole race by myself, doing a open solo. Turned out well, and I got hooked doing it by myself. Although like having a partner, it's fun. But I just wanted to do the whole thing. Let's see what I am actually capable of doing without any, no partners, just doing it by myself. So I was able to get a respectable time, but I wanted to really break that hour barrier, that sub 60. And a few months after that, did a Boston HYROX, and I was able to achieve. I got 59:28, and that was a good moment. But yes, the training for HYROX is very different than half or marathon because although people say it is a runner's race, speaking of HYROX, but the training program, if you understand the sport, is a little bit different. And I was able to really relate to this because I had to prep for Boston HYROX, and the week after that, I had my Portland Marathon. So I kind of had to train for those two races. It was difficult because the marathon is very aerobic. You have to spend a lot of miles on your feet. However, HYROX, you have to do a lot of more stuff like intervals, shorter sprints, more anaerobic type of work. And again, Boston went really great, but I paid the price in the Portland Marathon.
Not recommended to do that.
Exactly. I thought, the training program was fine, and I watched the video on social media how someone described the marathon race. It's a 20 mile commute to a 6-mile race, and it was exactly that. So first 20 miles, it was good, spot on. I hit the pace that I wanted to, but I knew that final 6 or 6.2 miles was going to be a battle, and I know I'm tough. When it comes to toughness, like I can hang with the best, but when you got no oxygen in your legs, it doesn't matter how tough you are. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, you weren't recovered.
Exactly. The final 6 miles, it was a struggle. Yeah, I had to. As we get closer to the finish line, I'm sure most races do this. It says 400 meters, 300 meters, 200 meters to the finish. I think they have the signs, and I was right next to the 200 meter marker. And my body just shut down on me.
Oh, shoot.
And I had to whip up my phone and be like, I called my girlfriend who was waiting for me at the finish line. I'm like, hey, babe, I can't. I might have to DNF. Not finish. And I was just like, just give me 1 second. I started walking, and I started jogging, and that's how I finished.
Oh, wow.
So if you look at the splits, first 20 spot on. I executed the race so well, and then the final 6.
Not even final 6. It's like final 200 meters.
Exactly. Yeah, but good learning curve. I know what not to do, and I know how to program better in case that were, something like that were to happen where I have very short, rest recovery time.
Yeah.
I can prep for it a little bit better. So it was a good learning curve for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm trying to do, or I hope to do the HYROX in New York solo if I could get a registration.
Nice.
So my question for you, for somebody that kind of went through the process of doing doubles and then did a solo, what's some advice that you would give somebody like maybe like myself who's never done a HYROX, has some like cardio base? I've done half marathons.
Yeah.
I've done 10Ks. I train pretty regularly. What's some advice that you would give me to kind of shift my focus to being able to do a HYROX?
Sure. So I recommend going through some phases. For instance, let's say first one is your prep phase, and depending on your background history, the distance, the length of the prep phase varies. So it can be short as 2 weeks, can be long as 4 to 5 or even 6 weeks. So during the first few weeks, getting into this, HYROX mindset, HYROX movements, you want to focus on like 6 main components, which are like a hinge, squat pattern, push and pull, anti-rotation core, and run. So those are the 6 main components that I would focus on during that prep phase, making sure everything's working properly. And then you want to get into that base building phase where you can start loading a little bit heavier. So I'm saying this because oftentimes to get ready for HYROX races, they go straight to sims. I am 4 months out. Okay, sims, circuit, half sims, circuits. But that's exactly the opposites. I don't do sims until like 4 to 6 weeks out from the race. I just focus on the main compound movements. Like I mentioned, the 6 components. I increase my mileage, do some repeats as I get closer to that final competition prep phase, that final 4 to 6 weeks. And then again, when I'm in that competition phase, then I focus a bit more HYROX specific movements, do more circuits, but try a sim or a half sim just to get a good gauge of where I am at. And then that's how I would structure like a HYROX program if you were to looking to do a New York City HYROX.
How do you format your running training? Is it separate, or are you always pairing it with a modality? Because it's a 1K run, but you're doing 8K in total.
Correct.
How do you format your run training?
Correct. So for those that are unsure what HYROX is, it's becoming this massive, fitness events originated in Germany. So all like the distance is in like metrics. So here we use imperial, the units. We use feet and things like that. But so hopefully people don't get confused. So you have your 8K runs, which are divided into 8 station work. To name a few, you do your 1K, you have your ski erg. Another 1K, you have your sled push, 1K sled pull, and things like that. You got 8 runs and then 8 stations. And that is how it's broken down. So to kind of distribute the running load, obviously you want to, like I mentioned, you don't want to increase the weekly mileage too much in the very beginning. You want to start nice and easy. Think of a distance that you can do comfortably and just cut that in half. Like if you think you can go out and run 5 miles easy, start with 2.5, start with 3 miles, and then week by week increase 10% or 8 to 10%. You don't want to go too crazy with increasing, and that's how I would structure it. And as you get closer into that base building into the final 4-6 weeks, then you really want to add some speed into it, some race pace effort or sub race pace. Like if you know a time that you want to hit, then you would kind of calculate that into what my 1,000 meter or 1K pace would look like, and try that out on the track. Do some 1,000 meter repeats and see how that feels, and then you can incorporate that pace with the HYROX type of workout. For instance, 800 meters on the tread at a race pace or sub-race pace, depending on, where you are in the program, and then go straight to a 300-meter skier, go straight to 30 meters of walking lunges, finishing out with 30 wall balls, and just repeat that process 4 rounds.
That's considered a sim.
No, yes and no. Sim can be the whole thing, just divided into half.
Oh, I see.
Like half sim will be like that. That would be like somewhat of a sim, but a little bit different. But yes, it could be like a half a sim, but with like a half of the movements and half of the runs.
I see.
But when people say half sim, it's usually instead of 1 kilometer run, it's just instead of 1,000 meter run, it's 500 meters.
Oh, I see.
500 meter skier, 500 meter run, and then 25 meters, because in the race it's 50 meters total of sled push, 25 meters sled push, just everything half to cut in half. But doing the whole 8 runs in 8 stations.
Gotcha. So I heard this thing where it's like the race isn't won or lost with the modalities, with the stations. It's really kind of won and lost with the running. Do you agree with that?
Yes. If you are going for a certain time, I agree. If you are there to have fun, to enjoy the ambience, enjoy the energy, I would focus on the stations, making sure the technique is good. You know how to erg, the ski in the row. You know how to do burpees without getting penalized, sled push efficiently, things like that. Just focus a bit more on the stations, again, if you want to purely enjoy HYROX event. However, if you're going for a certain time, then yes, I would hone in on the running aspect of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, probably like 70 or above, like 80% focusing on the run, and then we can focus at the 20-30% on the station work.
So how do you kind of know what a good goal is for you if you've never done one? Like, I know I'm not breaking 60, so the question for me is like, it's like an hour 30, hour 15, hour 20. Like, how do I gauge what a good goal time is?
So someone that's been, like active, like Dave, like your background, you've been running. You say you ran 7 miles, and you take classes at Alpha Fit Club, which has a lot of station movements. That's the beauty of Alpha Fit Club. You can prep by taking class. You are preparing for HYROX. So someone like you, I would say a good goal is like an hour and 20, hour 25. Like I think average is around 1:30, an hour and 30 minutes. But that's also very difficult for me to say, hey, this should be a projected time, even if I know you as an athlete, because the venue is always different. Some venues are a little bit larger, and then the Roxzones are also different. Roxzone is in between the station and when you exit and do your run. So in between the station and that running course in the perimeter of the venue, that is called the Roxzone. Some venues have smaller Roxzones or shorter Roxzones. Some has like longer. So it depends. It's difficult to predict like a marathon, because everything is consistent. With the marathon, the half marathon, with the 5K, it's always 5K, 10K, things like. But HYROX is very difficult to predict because it changes. There's some external factors. Yeah, that goes into the layout.
Gotcha. So average is like 1:30.
Yeah, say so.
So you're saying I'm only slightly better than average.
So if New York City, you got a few months prepared, Dave. if you can break 1:20, I would say that's a successful race. no, because it is your first one.
You have
no idea what to expect. Also, last year rain, man. Rain. Yeah. It was raining.
And there's some issues with the sleds.
Yeah, I was in
they're inconsistent in terms of like the being able to push them.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah,
I was the first heat Saturday morning. It rained Friday evening and canceled some of the later races.
Oh no!
And Saturday morning, I was the first heat, and come sled push station, the turf moved, but the sled stays exactly the same.
Oh no!
So the sled didn't go anywhere.
Oh no!
The turf went forward.
Oh shoot!
So again, it's like that. External factors. I just never know what to expect. So I would say, Dave,
sub hour 20.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing hour 15. Okay. I'm trying not to give myself rhabdo.
Okay. Oh, you wanna set your sights high and yeah, dude. I like that too.
I there's something broken with my brain.
Yeah.
Where I don't know how to shut it off.
Okay.
So if I'm in the race and I see that I'm not going to hit an hour 15, like I will give myself rhabdo. Like it's a problem.
No, but I really do think after this first race, kind of get an understanding what the race looks like or feels like. Then the second race, you can you have a much better understanding of what you can hit.
Or it might be my first and my last. You're like, dude, this sucks.
This sucks.
I'm not doing
I guarantee you, I'll be there. I'll be there cheering you on. Don't worry, you'll be fine. That'll be fun. I'm excited.
So yeah, I'm training for the Brooklyn half, and then I'm training for the Jersey City half, and then a week later I'm doing the Brooklyn half, and then about 4 weeks after that I have the New York City HYROX. So how should I be training given the fact that those three races are very different?
Gotcha. Okay. So I just wanted to ask you this, Dave. What is more important to you? The half marathon, the 2 races that you have, or New York City HYROX?
So I haven't necessarily thought about that. I guess in my mind, I've never done a HYROX before, so I don't really know where I stand with it. I don't know. I think I'm out of fear. I want to be more prepared for the HYROX than the half marathon. Like the half marathon I've done before. I know I can do it. And I would like to PR my time, but it's not like super, super important. I would say HYROX then.
Gotcha. Okay, great. The good news is HYROX and half marathon, they do have some overlaps. It's not like we're comparing HYROX to a full marathon. That's a different story. But because we were able to use some of the speed in half marathon races, and also HYROX being more like a fast race, again comparing to marathons and half marathons, there are some overlaps. I would say what you're doing is amazing at the moment. You said you ran 7 miles this morning and you're working on your zone 2, going into that conversational pace runs often. So that's good. Keep on doing what you're doing. As you get closer, about like a month or 2 out, start incorporating more of that speed work, more of the intervals, luckily you don't have to do too many hill repeats because the course at Brooklyn, I heard the course
is hilly.
Yes, I heard that. Okay, sorry. You're going to have to do something. So find the hill, run up.
Well, they'll simulate the sled push,
Yeah, exactly. But preparing for all 3 races, there are some overlaps. So as you get closer into your first race, you can start to incorporate more of the interval training, more of the track repeats if you have access to it. If not, no worries. You can always do like a quarter mile repeats out and about. So, and then you will know it like a week or 2 before the race. You will want to start tapering, decrease the mileage just a little bit, decrease the overall load in your body, hone in on your nutrition, your sleep, and come race day, I don't want to say kill it. I never say that. Just go enjoy. You did all the work, man. Just enjoy.
So don't give myself rhabdo.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the work has been done. There's nothing you can do about it. Just enjoy.
Yeah. And as far as like, technique, so I go to AlphaFit and we do a lot of the modalities. We do the ski erg, we do the rower, we do the sled. In terms of like those specific technique, like should I be working on form and technique? I've been like watching a lot of videos about rower technique, and my stubby ass legs are making it difficult. Where I feel like I can't really move. I can't move the chains fast enough.
Gotcha. So there's been a battle between HYROX community and CrossFit community, where one community say you have to row this way, but HYROX community says no. It's like I understand that's the correct rowing technique. Or I'm sorry, there's a battle between HYROX community and like professional rowing community.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. One saying this is a more efficient way. HYROX athletes are saying, no, you are not on. This isn't a standalone rowing competition.
Yeah.
You guys just do standalone either on water or on the Concept 2 or row work machine. You just go. But this is HYROX. You have your runs and all the other stations that's coming up like before and after.
Yeah.
So in terms of technique, you can put a little bit more emphasis slightly on the pull, because we are halfway into the race. I'm sure your quads, hamstring, glutes are a little bit fried up by then. So you can put more emphasis. Still go with that same leg drive first, and then body, and then give you a strong pull. But give yourself a bit more pull than that traditional way of majority of the power coming from the legs.
Gotcha.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as technique goes, if you understand the technique, giving you an example so people that are listening can kind of relate to it. For instance, if you know the good technique for wall balls, if you're able to catch the med ball on the way down into a squat, and then have a faster counter movement, squat into that leg drive, into that final toss. If you understand that rhythm, it's just so much. If you understand the rhythm and technique on all the other stations as well, not just the wall balls, it'll go such a long way. So don't even, at the moment, if you're unsure of how to train for HYROX, just take it piece by piece, station by station, just work on the technique on each of the 8 stations. I mean, I'm sure you know how to run for most likely, but understand how to go about to be as efficient as you can in all the 8 stations.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you get 100 unbroken?
Oh my gosh. That's been my goal. My 2 goals since New York City last year. Break sub 60 and do 100 unbroken wall balls. I got to sub 60.
Okay.
And I was hoping to kill 2 birds with 1 stone in Boston, and also get that 100 wall balls unbroken. I really want this Red Bull, the patch. If you do get unbroken reps, they give you not only the HYROX patch or the badge or the patch, they also give you the Red Bull one, which I want to. That's what I really desired.
Now you just triggered something in me. I didn't know that you got a patch.
You got a little special one.
You get a little special patch?
You get a little special one. If you do pro race, now you get a white color patch. You don't get the black one. The open is black.
Yeah.
The white one is, you say, hey, you did a heavier weight. And then the Red Bull one, you did 100 unbroken. I got 86 or 85. But then when I looked back, 16 or 17 of them were no reps. So that's what I'm saying. If you get the technique down, get the rhythm down, minimize those no reps. And I'm not just
16 or 17 were no reps?
Yeah, yep.
Because you didn't go low enough?
I didn't hit the target. You gotta be spot on, almost like bullseye, not like a dead center, but you have to hit that center circle.
That's so annoying.
Yes, and same with all the other stations. If you don't do the technique correctly, to the HYROX standard to guidelines, then they will penalize you. Now it's with time penalty.
Oh wow.
Yeah, back then you have to kind of go back a few meters. Now it's at the end of your final time, they add you few seconds to it. So in a wall balls, it's a no rep.
But so even if you get a no rep, you can still get the patch as long as you don't stop.
Correct. That's right. You don't have to do 100 clean unbroken reps. If you just don't stop, don't drop, don't pause, to make it everything fluid, down and up toss, 100 times, hit the target 100 times.
Yeah, so golden. I'm gonna get rhabdo.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm telling you, and I know people will relate to this. If when you're fresh, work on wall balls, you can do 100 wall balls. You can grind through.
Yeah, if you're fresh.
Yes, but after
that race,
7K, after 8K and 7 stations, when at that last and final station, everything's fatigued. Yeah. Your quads go, your shoulders go.
What'd your nutrition look like day of?
So I don't really try to put too much stress on nutrition. I just coming from Asian background, I ate a lot of rice, I ate a lot of bread. So I do have a carb-heavy diet. Yeah. So I'm always capped in my glycogen storage. So I don't worry too much about that. It's not like I go out and eat donuts and fried carb stores. I just eat clean carb and clean protein.
Night before and the day of, or?
I focus a little bit more on during my race week for marathon, but for my half and HYROX, I did the exact same thing. Whatever that made me feel good, I stuck with it. Gotcha. Again, keep in mind, normally my diet is heavy in carbs anyways. Yeah, it's not like I'm on keto. It's not like I'm super low on carbs on a daily basis, and then I do have to change it. No, it wasn't like that. It's always a carb-heavy diet, so I didn't need to change it.
Did you do any gels or goos the day of?
During marathons, yes. Not during half or HYROX.
Really?
I didn't take anything for half marathon and HYROX races, but I did take a few gels during.
Would you recommend that some people do it?
Some people do like it. They like to take it at station number 5 after burpee broad jumps. As they go into the row work station, they take a quick gel of whatever brand they like. As far as if it actually helps, there are studies that says yes. There are studies that doesn't really give a lot of benefits to it. But if you feel good, if you feel more energized, you get that second pick me up, then you should totally go for it. Take the gels. It's fine. And it's not like, it's not forbidden in HYROX. You can't. It's not like that. You're able to take it in the middle of the race. So if it helps you, go for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I had a great time talking.
Thank you. Likewise.
Maybe we do a part 2 if there's some questions. If you guys want to leave some questions in the comments,
For sure.
or if you guys want to talk about something else in terms of more nitty-gritty details about HYROX, maybe we could do that as well. But thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Dave.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. It really does mean a lot to us. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or comment if you got at least 1 or 2 helpful insights or takeaways to help you get to your next level.